Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Sneaking Into Movies. My name is Chris. I'm your host with my co-host, as always, Jason. Jason, how are we doing today?
Great. Happy to be back after our sabbatical.
Taking a sabbatical, it's like we're going to pick up right where we left off. A lot of movies that went by. We have chosen to review the Best Picture. I know we're late. I know this review is way after everyone's reviewed it and the Best Picture has already been nominated, but we're old and it takes our time, so patience is a virtue. We are going to be reviewing 2024's Anora, directed by Sean Baker and recent recipient of Best Picture of the Year. Jason, as we start with Jason, would you recommend this movie?
I would recommend it. I enjoyed it. Yes. I would recommend it.
Jason, it's just got such a heart to it. I want to spend a fair amount of this time talking about a couple pieces of that movie. The first one is the director, Sean Baker. And let me just go through, as a film lover and as someone from Florida, it's impossible basically not to like Sean. Okay, we're going to go. He had a couple smaller films. I've heard of Prince of Broadway and Starlet, but really I heard of him from Tangerine was the first one. And then the Florida Project. Did you see the Florida Project?
I saw the Florida Project.
God, the Florida Project is just like this one. It's so like earnest. It's so real, I guess. And to see all those like landmarks driving around Florida and in Orlando and all the tourist spots is great. But this one had that same just, you know how the young people say a vibe? It was such a vibe, right?
I thought it was in a fairly accurate picture into a subculture of strip clubs. Fairly accurate. A little bit of liberties were taken. A little bit. But yeah, I think it...
Is that based on your expert opinion, Jason?
I would say it's based on many hours of research behind the scenes in strip clubs. And I would say that part of what the draw was for people was that this isn't a culture that they know. The same way the Florida Project was.
Right.
There's lots of people, they watched the Florida Project and went, wait, people live in hotels? Is that a thing?
Yes.
And they have to switch rooms? Oh, I didn't know that. Same way with the strip club, where it's like, it really is just kind of like a no holds barred thing where some people are going to do whatever it takes to get the money they need to pay rent, and other people, other people, it's just, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take my clothes off and dance on stage, and that's it. But it was interesting.
It certainly was. It had a great kinetic kind of energy to it. Again, I think just very well crafted. The other part is it Mickey Madison? I should know this. I mean,
Mikey.
Also, is it Mikey? Excuse me.
Mikey.
Mikey, my apologies. Best Actress winner. And, we saw her, and I remember seeing her Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as that sort of psycho at the end. And that's it. And honestly, I barely remembered her as that. I thought she was just she's so committed to the role that, when someone just falls into a character that, again, to that subculture, you're just like, if you didn't know, it's like, is this an actress? Is this a real, adult dancer they got to play in this? And that's like a testament to her skills of just like, she went for it.
Method acting.
I mean, whatever. She committed. It was excellent. Now, the irony of that, going back to the Academy Award, she lost, or Demi Moore lost the Best Picture, or excuse me, the Best Actress, which is sort of the subs, the sort of like substance of like the
that's crazy.
And I was like, I thought that was just so like Hollywood cannot escape, not even just Hollywood, but just like society can't escape our own, just like traps, so to speak. Or just infatuation with the new. But she deserved it. I don't want to take anything away from her. I thought that character was very, like, dynamic. It gave her a lot of chances to really, like, go, push emotions, like fighting with the parents. I thought all those scenes with, like, when she finally meets the mom were just so great. Yeah, man, she was great. What'd you think?
I I want to skip to something that was a pet peeve of mine, and
let's go for it.
we'll go back to the positive.
Sure.
Henchman number 2,
Hold
muscle.
on. Let me look up.
I don't know his name.
Oh.
The Jason Statham stunt double. I don't know his name.
Yeah.
But there was a thing where they kept kind of reinforcing that he's the help. They called him a gopnik, which is the working class in Russia. But the thing is, they kept kind of having him in frame. They kept having him kind of like off to the side, and you saw him trying to connect with her. When I just went, this is a forced conversation about class. The oligarchs are up top. The assistant oligarch, the guy that was doing the baptism, he's the second tier, and then his henchman is the third tier, and this is the driver, rough people up. And they kept trying to like force him into the scenes and force him to be important, when I'm gonna just say, in reality, she wouldn't even have looked at him. She would have never had a conversation with him.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have said anything to him. There wouldn't have been, I'm not going to ruin the ending, but none of that would have happened at all, because he would have been, she thinks she's better than everybody else. You saw that in the strip club. You saw that she's like, I'm getting married. I'm out of here. She's got an elevated self-esteem. And that mom was like, hey, no, no, that's not where we're at all. But other than that, I really liked her. I watched it. If I didn't know she was an actress, I'd have been like, oh, they just grabbed some girl to do this. Because honestly, you don't need a whole lot of range to do what she was doing.
You know, it's interesting. You gotta stretch your range. Towards the end, one of her friends that's in it is someone's actually from that adult club, and you can kind of tell. It's like the friend I think she goes to that high end party with is an actual adult.
Okay, yeah.
And you can actually tell like the not as polished as far as like her, you know, like the acting. So, interesting. But yeah, she was great. You know, I'm going to say this, and it's not my lifestyle. It's never been my lifestyle, but man, they seem like they're having a lot of fun. All the friends complete debauchery. But golly.
The oligarch's kid?
Yeah, the kid, all his friends are just like a constant party is wild to me. I'm fascinated by, you know, you said that earlier about like subcultures. I think that's why I always like say hip hop is like, you know, growing up and it's just like a lifestyle or experience that I didn't feel. And it's like, we're in the same country, not too far away. It's just interesting to me to see, cultures that are not my own. One tangent here, Jason, can you tell us on your screen? I have this like eye condition where like half the color is like light and half is dark. It's like real prominent to me. Can you see that?
I cannot see that.
No, you can't see the difference.
Oh, wait, I can kind of tell.
Yeah, look how light it is under and dark it is here.
What's that called? Aberchromatic or something like that? Or did I just make that up? I don't even know if that's a real word.
I'm really confident with that. It is something I should know my own. Know your own disease. I don't know it. They call me two-tone. No, they don't. Okay, so Jason, we both like that. We had some, you know, to me, the one, I guess, not a gripe, but the reason, like, I told you my favorite film was The Brutalist. Like, I just love that film because that film felt like it achieved something maybe a greater, remark or sort of commentary on like art and immigration and things that just maybe just deeper to me. And Anora had such a great feeling of humanity, and just like you said, just the ride through class and subculture was so great, I think, for cinema. But it didn't just sort of like achieve a deeper thought process or feeling with me. So I sort of, loved it, but I didn't love it, if that makes sense.
I agree. I mean, it's topless Cinderella, and I understand why people liked it. And I'm still conflicted.
We're cutting that short, bro.
I'm not a teenager, and I was a teenager, so that teenage stuff was fun. I don't feel like I really need to watch it. I don't need to see girls that are 20 years old naked on screen. It doesn't do anything for me. Like this was just kind of like, okay, well, take out the sex scenes, take out the nudity, and this is not Best Picture at all. It's a good movie. It's a solid movie, but there's nothing about this one. You're not even going to remember it next year at all. You're not even going to remember the name of it next year. It was a peek into a subculture, as I said, that's interesting, and it was provocative. But towards the middle of the movie, because you wanted to make it 2.5 hours long, you're just kind of like, is this like a chase scene? It's it's a chase scene for 45 minutes of the movie. It doesn't make any sense. And you really set this whole chase scene up to show us this. You want to show the class distinction, and you also want to show us, look at these two characters coming together. And I'm going, I don't want it. I don't want Jason Statham even in the shot, much less to be of any important role at all. But I just think that there was a lot of, I will say, titillation that made people go, okay, I want to watch that. Where I remember when the NWA movie came out, Compton's Most Wanted, whatever it's called, they polled the people that were Oscar voters, and half of them were like, nah, we didn't even watch it.
That's so sad.
They didn't even watch it. And I'm going, no, you probably had every 70-year-old white guy going, did that Anora screener? Do we have the link for that yet? So this, I promise, if you did a survey of all of the movies and you said, hey, how many people watched The Brutalist versus watched Anora?
Yeah.
And you polled the old white men, 100 to like 50, I bet.
Yeah, yes, that's a fact. And The Brutalist is like 3.5 hours long. Crazy. There was something, what was the year that, remember when Crash won Best Picture? Was that over Brokeback Mountain? Was that what the controversy was? Do you remember that? I just saw that come up.
I don't remember.
Crash, Best Picture beat.
Crash was good, though.
Oh, it's Brokeback Mountain. Yes.
Did Brokeback Mountain win over Crash?
No, Crash won, and everyone was just like, are you freaking kidding me? I think that was maybe the opposite of those same people like, I'm not watching the gay movie.
Yeah, I don't think I was mature enough to watch that
whole thing. Brokeback Mountain?
I watched like parts of it and I was like, I don't care about this. I wasn't mature enough to go, okay, well, there's like a love story and great actors. So you should watch this.
From Ang Lee. I'm like an Ang Lee fanboy. Crouching
the
Tiger,
Hulk?
Hidden Dragon.
All right, the
Jason, bring it up. Later work. Ridiculous. I love Ang Lee, and it's just, as a piece of cinema, it's excellent cinema. And Crash was just more commercial in my mind. That sounds weird. They're all commercial in a sense, but you know what I mean. Okay, back to Anora. Jason, well, we don't have a ton to say. We thought it was both fun. We both liked the main actress. The guy was fine. Some henchman issues. A little filler. I like the parents, the direction. It's a worthy, to your point, it did get a little stretched. They could have been tighter, but then maybe it would have suffered from not letting the characters breathe a little bit, not letting the story breathe. And you have to find, what I found is like this weird balance where a lot of films I've seen, you can cut. They can cut. It's like definitely bloat. But, unless you're going to be like Dunkirk, where it's like 90 minutes of the tightest, that's it, no all killer, no filler type of, storytelling. If it's too short, I think you run the risk of, that story where like they came out that first cut of The Godfather and it was short. And then the producer was like, what are you doing? You got a saga here, pal. You got an epic here. You need to make it longer. And it kind of forced it to go longer to make it a real story. And so that's the balance I think films have to take, is like in between a 90-minute, short movie and then like something that's going to make it like art and a best picture type.
Okay. I will I'm going to say I believe that streaming has a lot to do with runtime now, because you have to fill up. You have to fill up time. It has to just be time. It's not like the old days when it's like, oh, if a movie is an hour and a half long, we put it on TBS, we stretch it out to 2 hours. No, we need these movies to be like 2 hours. And I'm not seeing a whole lot of movies that are like 90 minutes. They're all 2+ hours. And where you're just going, yeah, I'm watching it at home, so I don't really care that it's that long. But I feel like once you stop a movie because you're just not into it and then pick it back up, you've lost it. If you have to watch a movie in 2 parts, most of the time you're not even going to pick it up for the second half. So this one was a little long.
Yeah.
It was, I think they just took the fun out of it when it was just them partying and being young and having fun. They flew to Vegas and then it was oh, he's immature and he runs from her for like half the movie. And I'm going, I don't really know. His character was totally like one-dimensional, and I feel like you could have did more with him. Like there's that whole part. That's another subculture we don't know anything about. Being the children of Russian oligarchs, which must be make that movie next, because I want to see how these people really live. Because I think it's like that.
I'm interested. You know what? I'm gonna forgive my ignorance here, but it's like, it's not Ibrahimovic? Who was like, not Ibrahimovic? Who like he owned Chelsea? He was
Abramovich.
Abramovich, and then there was the dude that owned the Nets. I forget his name, but anyway, these were like oligarchs. But they had all the shit seized, like all the yachts and all the money seized. And I'm wondering how that works sometimes when, like, you know, you'll hear these stories of like, yeah, they get their money, and then depending on where they got it from, it's like, well, sorry about that, it's seized.
Yes,
I'm fascinated by it. Yeah, that's absolutely fascinated by that. Jason, I'm gonna have one side negative tangent. Do you remember this brand? It's called Clearly Canadian.
Yeah, it used to be like water.
Used to be
in the glass bottles.
They still have it, but at Publix, I was reintroduced to the brand based on a buy one get one free offering. And you know, it's seltzer water, which is all the rage. We get the seltzer water. I'm drinking it, and then I look at the back. It's like 90 calories. It's all sugar. It's just sugar water.
Oh,
this is not much different than like a Coke. It's got,
and a Coke would taste better.
Of sugar.
That's you should definitely be drinking a Coke instead.
That's crazy. Anyway, I don't know why that caught to me, but I was like, what are we doing here? Of course it's buy one get one free. No one wants to like. We're on to you. This whole time when I was a kid, I thought I was just like, yeah, it's water. It's a healthy.
I think it was just water before, and now they've jazzed it up.
Oh, well, something I've been having. Well, anyway, I digress here. I just happened to have that come up, and I just wanted to make sure I'm remember to check the labels. Jason, we're gonna finish this up after our unnecessary, kind of a side, side quest into water reviews. We're going to give Anora a rating. Jason, what would you rate Anora out of 5 stars?
I'm gonna go 3.75.
Are you kidding me? In the 3s?
In the 3s.
Right. God dang. Okay.
It meandered too much. Wait, there was one part. You know one part that was funny. The guy that got the concussion, the main henchman, and so you kind of see the stages of concussion where they're like, "Don't go to sleep," and then you get like groggy and physically ill, and just kind of watching this over. I guess it's over the course of a day, right? The whole chase part. Yeah. It was just interesting to see. He gets a ticket because he's passed out, and he's like, how did we get a ticket? You're like in the car. Other than that, I'm not going to remember it in 6 months.
Okay. You know what? That's kind of, I hear you. I think I give it extra points from liking the director and then liking her. I'm going to go out of 5, Jason. I'm going to give it a 4.5. I thought it was
Did we watch the same movie?
On. Maybe I'm thinking of a wrong scale here. I initially thought 4.
It's okay. It's your call,
Jason. I'm just feeling maybe a little generous today, just with like God, maybe that is a little high. I was thinking at least she's 4.2, and I just bumped it up a little bit the last second. Let's just split the difference, and I'm going to say 4.3. Jason is at 3.7. I'm a 4.3. Anora, overall, not bad per Jason's view. I liked it. Great vibe. See how young I feel right there? The vibes.
I like that.
Nathan, the vibes
Can I add one more thing?
Please.
Okay, so there was one kind of common link between henchman number 2. I don't know his name.
Yeah.
Henchman number 2 and Anora. And it was when the mom met Anora and was basically like, your Russian is garbage. Because you're not Russian.
Yeah.
You're not from Russia. You speak a little Russian, but you're not Russian.
You'll never be one of us.
Yeah, you're not one of us, and he is the help.
One of us.
So they're basically on the same level.
Yeah.
But I didn't like it. Didn't like it. I thought it was forced. It was unnecessary.
Which is a long way to say I didn't like it. All right, bro. That's a good one. We're going to wrap it up. Tune in next time for our review, which will be Flight Risk. Thanks for tuning in.
Oh, wait.